there was really no kind of information that we had. We only knew that he was going to be Kong's nemesis in this film, and that he was going to have some red fur, and that was really it. There was no, and that he had a spine whip. That was the other thing, is that he had a spine whip and red fur, and there really wasn't much information kind of beyond that. And so I just kind of, after our initial meeting, I just went home and kind of did my thing, and they liked it, and they were like, "Yep, that's good." And I was like, "What? What? Really?" Because that almost never happens. It's very, very rare. A lot of times directors want to see you do a lot of exploration or a lot of iterations on a design. And I think it's kind of a testament to Adam's decisive ability to be like, nope, that's it. That's what I want. That's in the movie. And that's it. Because it's different for every director.
Can you name a director that is more decisive or just as decisive in good ways?
Yeah,
just really knows what they want.
I think James Gunn is probably another one of those. James Gunn or all the Jameses, James Gunn, James Wan,
James Cameron.
Yeah, James Cameron. There's a fine line of like where do we explore? They know how to like explore ideas, but also then to direct you into what they want. So once they have a clearer vision, they're able to say like, okay, now let's try this. And then when you hit that final kind of clarity moment, that's when you kind of hit that mark.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we talked about attending the premiere too a little bit. Did you have any additional memories? Did you reunite with Wingard at the premiere? I did see
Adam at the premiere, and he was awesome. He recognized me right away. He was like, "Oh, come over," and Adam, he's very tall. Adam is he is a giant man with a very big, robust beard, and he's just got this really infectious energy. And I'm sure he had been going for probably pretty hard for a while, because he's shipping this whole movie, and then here's the premiere on top of that. So I'm sure he enjoyed a very well-deserved vacation after that.
For sure. Let's go to Transformers a little bit, because I know you did Cheetor from Rise of the Beast.
Yeah.
Did someone else design that robot mode? Because I know that I've seen the visual of the cheetah mode, we'll call it.
Yeah. When I was on it, it was pretty early on. So I don't think they were even going to transform into robot modes when I worked on it. So I don't know who did his robot mode. It might have been Furio Tedeschi, because he's one of the main Transformers dudes on it. But just getting to take a stab at it, is exciting. So.
But you're a Beast Wars fan.
I am. Yeah. I loved that show back in the day. All the bad CGI and everything.
Who's your favorite Beast Wars? Were you Maximal or Predacon guy?
Oh God, it's not fair. I liked Dinobot.
Of course.
He's like a dramatic character, waffling between good and evil, and you're never quite sure what his intentions are. I think that's always like a very creatively rich character trope.
It tells the story, like we were talking about last time.
Yeah,
it's all about
storytelling.
It's
all about storytelling.
That's great. So you were talking about how you were attached to the project when they weren't even going to transform. But if you were attached to that kind of project, is it more the visual effects team that says, okay, how is this going to turn into this? Is that their area of expertise?
Yeah, I mean, you have kind of different areas in it. Storyboards are framing the movie itself, and then you have concept art they're tasked with coming up with the look of XYZ thing. And then you get into production and animation, where they're like, okay, how do we actually make this thing transform into this thing? So it requires a lot of very technical artists who are very, very good at what they do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We'll talk about Pennywise a little bit.
Okay.
Because I know you did work on it.
Yeah.
I'm a big horror fan.
Oh, yeah.
I grew up watching horror movies.
Yeah.
How did we
Do you want food?
I can wait until we're.
Because she's on her way with it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
It's
we
an
can keep.
answer.
Yeah, we can keep going until.
Well, we got a couple.
Yeah,
I'll get you out of
Yeah,
here.
we're almost done. Yeah.
So, going, because the killer clown is quite the trope.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
killer
yeah.
clowns everywhere.
Yeah.
And then you have the baggage of Tim Curry.
Yeah.
So, what was going on in your mind where, similar to Mechagodzilla, where there's this very familiar character with Pennywise? I'm sure the directors wanted him to be scarier.
Yeah.
Look scarier.
Yeah.
Just not. He's kind of freaky looking. B, was Skarsgård's likeness incorporated into that, or was that before his casting?
That was actually before he got cast. So they gave us a couple of actors who were kind of in the running at the time, and they said, just paint over it and give them some makeup so we can see what they would look like if they get cast. So that was before Skarsgård was cast. So they were looking at some different actors then, and I think my usual instinct with stuff, especially if you have like this iconic design or this iconic portrayal of a character, I try to go in the opposite direction. So his makeup was very clean, so I was going very messy, kind of dripping makeup kind of look, probably a little bit too close to the Joker, like Heath Ledger's Joker. So yeah.
Interesting. So a couple questions with ZBrush.
Oh yeah.
The first thing I'll ask is, when you are doing your sculpting in ZBrush, how do you? Because I asked every artist this. How do you get in the zone? Do you listen to music? Do you just focus really hard on your ZBrush?
Yeah. It takes. There's a warm up period where it takes about 30 to 45 minutes before you hit the zone.
Mm-hmm.
So the first 30 minutes when you sit down at your desk are useless, right? Your brain's foggy, you're clicking on websites or whatever it is. And then you start to warm up. So like for artists, I recommend like warm-ups, right? Like just drawing circles or spirals or, getting your mind in a mindset that I'm ready to sit and be creative. So like an athlete stretches their body, the artist has to stretch their mind as well. So it takes me about 30, 45 minutes, but then once I've kind of hit a comfortable place, I can watch movies, I can put on podcasts, I can, listen to audiobooks or whatever it is. So at that point, I'm just comfortable,
Awesome.
It is.
Just kind of listen to stuff. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, I watch movies all day, and if I'm on a specific project, I'll watch movies from that past project just as a part of the research and kind of get myself in the headspace of that world, things like that.
How do you start learning ZBrush? Like, you sit at your desk day one, and you're like, how do I get there?
Yeah, ZBrush is it's a very weird program. So for beginners, it is way daunting and weird and bizarre, and that's because of ZBrush's roots, how ZBrush kind of came into existence. So it doesn't behave like any other 3D program. So what I recommend for people who are new to ZBrush is go to the website and go to the Z Classroom, because they have like 1 to 5 minute like bite size snippets of info, and they're broken down into like 1 to 5 minutes. It covers exactly what you need to cover, and then you can kind of like test it out and go from there. So there is a kind of a technical hurdle that you have to get over with in ZBrush, but once you're comfortable with it, the rest is all just art.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I got 2 more for you.
Okay.